Steph Christian just said he owes you dinner for the clean sheet
Oh,
on
nice.
Sunday in San Jose. Where do you want to make him buy you dinner?
Oh, that's nice. I don't know. I have to put some thought in him. Maybe canless or something. Ooh.
There you go.
Gotta make it worth your while.
Yeah.
Steph, obviously a big match Sunday. You've been a part of a few decision days in Seattle now. What's your mentality going into a match like that?
Judgment Day. That's what I call it. It's nice that we've clinched already, but obviously lots to play for still. So it's gonna be an interesting game because I think their mentality is kind of up in the air on how they're going to approach it. You know, obviously this is for them. This is a big making it into the playoffs finally. So that could be used as a motivation, or that could be used as a big sigh of relief on their part. You know, so it could go either way there. We all know Aussie's going to be fired up, but so we'll see how they approach it. But ultimately, we got to really look at ourselves and see how do we approach this game. I think this is like I said, a great opportunity for us to actually put ourselves in a good seed, good position, but also just a fine tune, you know, playoff atmosphere at home, you know, and if we are going to have opportunities in the playoffs to play at home, then that needs to be a definite home advantage, and so this is an opportunity for us to secure that advantage, but also show that we can make it count.
You played with Ozzie about longer than anybody else who's currently on the Sounders. You played against him earlier this year, but how different will it be his first appearance at home since leaving the team? And what did he mean to you as a goalkeeper?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it's going to be different with him coming back here. Obviously, I think the fans will welcome him. I think he's always el corazón. He holds a special place in this franchise and in everybody's heart. So. But I think that's more a question you should ask him. How is it going to be different for him coming here compared to playing against us when we were in Minnesota? But I expect a bundle of energy and fire like he always was. You know, I think that's one thing Ozzie always gave you. He was a competitor, worked his butt off, was never afraid to get the ball. I think played an important role, not just in the beginning of this franchise, but during my time and his later parts with this team. I think when we slowly started to transition into a possession-based team, he always tried to come and get that ball in the middle. So I think it was in the early beginnings for us to try to transition into that kind of playing style, and he played a huge role in that. So nothing but love for him. Was always a good guy, but we're going to have to bring our game against him this weekend.
You faced Darwin Quintero a few times. What does he do to make life so difficult for you as a keeper?
I've always said that I think the best player I've ever played with was Obafemi Martins, and I think he reminds me a lot of Obafemi Martins. You know, he's a smaller guy, very, very explosive, powerful, crafty. Does things that you usually that are hard to predict. He's not afraid, so he has all those qualities. I mean, all the way back to when he was still playing, I think, Mexico. Obviously, a very, very good player, and I think a huge addition to the league, but also to Minnesota. So we're gonna have to be mindful. He's a really good player, and again, I think as a striker, unpredictability is something that I hate as a goalkeeper. You want to know a guy that, okay, he's lethal with his left foot. Can we maybe eliminate that? But if you have no clue what he's going to do next, and how do you anticipate stuff, right? It's very dangerous and very difficult to prepare for.
You mentioned you kind of called this Judgment Day in a way. Is it fair to look at this game in some ways as a season-defining match, and that we could finish high as second, lowest fifth?
Maybe it's more of a redemption type game for us. I mean, we've had so many opportunities for us to really make it a statement game, and squandered quite a few opportunities. So I think you're not going to then stand there and say, okay, it's game over. Then you could look for the next one to be that opportunity, and the next one, and the next one. And here we are. We have yet another chance to really make an important statement game out of it, right? So I think we've been very, very fortunate. Let's be honest. I think our season has been not the best. It was nice to finally start on top But the remainder of the year has been quite a struggle. We've been very, very fortunate with the way it seems the West has struggled too to really follow suit with LAFC, you know, and it's allowed us to really have this opportunity now to still gun for second. But it's up. We have to take it. At some point, you have to make that statement game. So we have yet an opportunity. Like I said, we're very fortunate to do that. But we have to grab it. We have to grab it and do it.
What have you seen out of Roman Torres since his return, both in the practice field and in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, he seems like he's in okay shape. Very difficult for you to have to, you know, literally just abandon the team and then try to stay in soccer shape. You know, it's a completely different thing when we're talking about what we do in the off season, when you're not really seeing the pitch too often, but you're in actually pretty darn good shape. But when you come back and you have to train now and do this soccer fitness that we always call it, it's a whole other ball game. So for him to come right back in and almost have a seamless transition is a good sign. It's good. I mean, we're going to need him, especially now, obviously, with yet another guy going down. Not going down, but red card suspension. And who knows what's going to happen further down the road. You know, playoffs are always very unpredictable. I remember, you know, my very first few years, I miss him to death, but Zach Scott was a perfect example. You know, would rarely get to see the playing field, but played pretty much every playoffs because there was something that would happen, whether there was a red card or an injury or something. So someone else, the depth is required, and good depth, not just a body to slide in and fill a spot, but someone who can really contribute and make a difference.